Well, hey friends, we're excited to have you along for another Good News edition. We got a great lineup of stories you're just going to love. We'll start off with Ruben. As usual, he's been out visiting some very interesting places. Let's get an update from him.
So the program started in 2008. It was really big at the time. We had about 40 students, give or take, even more, coming through with our other instructors, of course. And then it was very big for Mesalands as far as getting people enrolled, especially getting part of the renewable energy factor, as getting students involved into the renewable factor. It's definitely the big portion of America now. We're starting to transition from coal to wind energy, solar energy, things like that, and that's kind of what we want to bring. That's what our program kind of brings to Mesalands. It brings that ability to train renewable energy. Right now we offer 3 different degree plans. We have a 16-week program, which you can come in, basically get your basic fundamentals of wind turbines, hydraulics, generators, motors, all that good stuff. And then we have a 1-year certificate. That certificate, you can learn a little bit more in depth of what you just came from for the basics. And then you would go for our 2-year, and you would get that electrical theory 1, 2, hydraulics 1 and 2, all the different opportunities to actually climb the turbine over the 2-year span. And that's kind of where we get our actual hands-on portion of it and become a true technician with the hands-on.
It's definitely a young person's job for sure, because you climb straight up, and the older you get, the harder it gets to do that. So the young people that are interested should take advantage of it, because it is a good paying job, and it's a very interesting job. It's not boring by no means. So it's something that people would like to take advantage of for sure. It's a pretty fulfilling job, because there's a lot of wind farms out there that are needing technicians, and they're needing it. And it's like I tell all the students that come in through the course, if you actually want a job and apply yourself, you'll get a job, especially after you've gone through the program. I mean, it's not hard. If you really want it, you can get it, So it's pretty good deal.
Panhandle Popcorn was started by Mr. Beard and the original company. This was in 1942, and he named the popcorn company the Glenn A. Beard Popcorn Company. It wasn't until 1956 that it changed to Panhandle Popcorn Company, the name that we use today. And Mr. Beard actually served on the board with the likes of Orville Redenbacher. He was on the popcorn board, and he and Mr. Redenbacher, I won't say they were friends, but they were associates, and they came out and were involved in the popcorn business about the same time, about 1942. So he started the business here in Plainview, and I think it was just an opportunity maybe for him to come out and actually grow some varieties. My family got involved in 2019. We actually farmed and still farm. My brother-in-law and sister are involved in the business, are partners, part owners. And so they pretty much tend to the ag side of the business, and me and my wife, and tend to the popcorn facility. And so it's been a very good business for us. 2019 is when we got involved, and we've had the opportunity to keep this business going while they've continued to do the farming. That's kind of the history of Panhandle Popcorn. Mr. Beard started it, and then Jim Mock, the second owner, owned and ran the business for about 45 years before we took it over. And we've met so many great people, the relationships that we have with the schools and the banks from this area in this region. It's what makes this business unique, number one, because of the territory that we cover. Also unique in the relationships that you make, working with these customers. So it's what makes a business like this special, because you're still tied to this region and to this community, and yet you have the ability to reach a customer base that you wouldn't have necessarily reached had you not been in this business. So it's a unique experience for us.
Hey friends, sit back, get comfortable. We'll be right back.
Do you need to wear a jacket today? Check the First Alert weather app. Snowstorm coming in? Check the First Alert weather app. Will it be nice this weekend? Check the First Alert weather app. Are the in-laws coming to visit? Check well, you're on your own for that. But for all things weather, watch, follow, and track with the First Alert Weather app.
Welcome back, friends. Lindsay has a really cool community spotlight. Let's check in with her.
The Canyon Chamber of Commerce is celebrating community excellence, businesses, and the rich history of Randall County.
So it is March 21st at the Silos in Happy. It's our big kickoff to our 120th year of the Chamber and of Canyon. We're just doing, it's our awards banquet and gala where we celebrate Man of the Year, Woman of the Year, new Chamber business, Volunteer of the Year, Citizen of the Year. Canyon wouldn't be thriving if those businesses wouldn't have started, back in the day, 120 years ago.
The event serves not only as a celebration of success, but a fundraiser for the Chamber.
We're able to do things like the 4th of July, so we can, host all of those things, Fair on the Square, Christmas in Canyon, all the many different things. We started a new event this last year, Tailgate Crawl, where we get together for WT and celebrate homecoming.
It's those community events that help quality of life in the city of Canyon and keeps the economy thriving.
There are a lot of new businesses coming into town, a lot of movement here on the square as well. New businesses coming into town, new businesses moving around. We're just really, really blessed here in Canyon.
Well, it's time to hear from Kelsey. Let's see who she's been chatting with.
From News Channel 10, you're watching The Chat.
We opened our doors in 2011. We've served 200 plus women. I've been at the ministry for just under 3 years, and so I'm just seeing a very tiny glimpse into what has gone on the past 15 years. But the most incredible thing we get to see is transformation of lives, generational redemption. These women leave so different than when they come to us.
I can only imagine, and this is me kind of putting you on the spot a little bit, but is there a story that specifically comes to mind that you would share with us?
Oh my goodness, I can think of like 10 off the top of my head.
I love that, yes.
We have a current resident right now who, or participant, who I interviewed her recently for the Panhandle Gives, and her testimony is just so powerful. She, of course, has history of family trauma, disconnection from her kids and things like that. But walking into Patsy's place and seeing her home and her bedroom for the first time, she shared with us that in 52 years, she had never had a bedroom or felt home the way that she did when she walked into our program. This is a woman who has never had a driver's license, who's never, owned or had her own vehicle. This is a woman who never thought that she would ever be working management at her job or being considered for management at her job. And this is a woman who needed medical care. She just the other day got a brand new smile, and she smiles all the time, and she's such a joyful person, and there's just never a dull moment around her. She's amazing, but she has these beautiful new teeth. So she comes to my mind because there's so many, even at 52 years old, there's so many firsts that we're getting to see her accomplish, and to be a part of all of her firsts like that. It's just really impactful for us, for the people that haven't walked in her shoes. We haven't experienced the things that she's experienced, but to know her is to love her, and to walk through those things with her has just been a really incredible journey for all of us.
Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more good news. Well, hey friends, here at News Channel 10, we have the opportunity to find and share positive and inspirational stories with you. And now we're bringing you those good news stories on Good News Edition, where we can highlight those great stories from around our area. And don't forget, you can find plenty more good news on newschannel10.com and your favorite streaming apps. Well, stand by for a great interview about some people that are ready to be in a rodeo.
And then I did see you guys are having your first hometown rodeo.
The first one since we believe is 2017.
2017, okay, that is awesome. And so kind of tell me what that's like to kind of bring that to Canyon and your school and be able to be on your home turf.
It's exciting. I know that everyone that we've talked to about getting the ball rolling on hosting this rodeo, there's a lot more to it than most people think, but everyone's been excited, and it goes back to that community support. But we'll be hosting it at the Spicer Grip Arena April 16th through the 18th, and it'll be a similar format as Madison described earlier. And the Spicer Grip crew, committee, and Canyon and Hereford communities are really helping to make it happen. And more details to come, but we're super excited and ready for our athletes to show some WT pride in the local area.
Yeah, and as an athlete, it's my last semester rodeoing, and so to be able to compete on the home turf, you know, I'm super excited to be able to have all my family there and watch and have fun. And I know that goes for all of the WT athletes. You know, it's just like having a home game. You know, you want to defend your home turf, so it's really gonna bring the heat.
Well, records were made to be broken. Here's a great story about some special records that have been broken.
Come on. Come on, that's it. And now you're just going to sit.
Henry isn't setting any speed records these days, but he has earned the right to move slowly or not at all, having reached what is believed to be a record age.
This is Henry. He's a little rat terrier. He's 25 as of the 15th of January.
Which Lori Hartman thinks makes Henry the current oldest living dog, and she is waiting to hear back from Guinness on her application for that title.
It's a process, and once we mail everything in, it's still going to take a couple weeks. Unless we raise that $800 or whatever it is, then we can bump it up. And in the back of my mind, part of me worries because you don't know how long he's going to be here.
Hartman certainly didn't know that when she and Jim Larson rescued Henry among more than 24 dogs from a breeder in 2009, taking them into their Max's Animal Rescue in Hoboken, Georgia.
We gathered all of them, trapped a bunch, and there was 29. 6 of them were pregnant, and within 9 days we had 50-some dogs, almost 60 dogs, in my little dining room, my 10 by 10 dining room. We have I think like 9 between 17 and 25.
All from that group of dogs?
All from that group. And we've had him for 16 years at this point. So he was unadoptable for a very long time.
Henry has gotten famous with his age, which, if you believe in dog years, is 175.
Happy birthday, Henry.
Say thank you.
And he has mellowed from the aggressive 9-year-old he was when he arrived at Max's Animal Rescue.
He's just the cutest little old man, you know. Everybody just thinks he's like a little old gentleman, and you know, his little hat and his little suit. He's always got a bow tie on. Always has a bow tie on. No collars no more, just the bow ties. So, and he loves them.
Hartman hopes a Guinness record will not just celebrate Henry's longevity, but help other senior dogs. She has started a fundraiser in his name to help her shelter and others continue to care for older animals.
What happens is they get lost in the shuffle. The money that's generated for rescues and shelters go to the intakes of the new dogs, the dogs that need medical, emergency medical, or new puppies, and that's great. But there's got to be a little 2 to 5% little line for the seniors left in rescues. And what we want to do is raise enough money to, you know, not only help the couple we have, but, you know, to help other groups.
For now, though, Henry keeps waiting for confirmation on a title that Hartman has been wondering about for a few years.
As he kept aging, going, oh my God, he's going to be this age, he's going to be 20. Oh my God, are you going to make it to 21? You know, and then it's, oh my God, are you going to make it to 22 and 23? And, you know, as it gets like to August, September of the year, you're like, come on, Henry, you're going to do it till January, you got to do it, buddy, you know. So then, you know, he just hangs in there and we're good.
You guys had an announcement this morning because, you know, with construction and projects, more keeps coming. And so talk about that a little bit and what you guys announced this morning.
Absolutely, Kelsey. And it was so exciting. We had 6 Siemens 8 8,500s come in, 800, sorry, so many numbers come into port in Houston.
Yeah, there you go, take a look.
Right, take a look at that. That's one of them. That's one container, they're 20 by 40. It took 165 containers hoisted one at a time by crane off onto the port. The biggest piece weighs 485,000 pounds. It's getting very real,
yes,
Sheldon.
Definitely.
The construction is starting to feel very significant.
Absolutely.
You know, and we're excited to bring those to Amarillo and to the Panhandle and start on that vertical construction as soon as we get the thumbs up. And so it's really exciting to see all of the. I was telling somebody this morning, that's like getting a car in COVID. Just so you have some perspective,
yes, okay,
the long lead time items, you know, in the supply chain, to have people come, to have the parts coming from 4 different countries, and it'll take 420 semi-trucks to bring them here.
Wow.
It's just, that gives you some perspective of that's just the first 6 units, and we're among the first in the country to get them, so.
And so without getting too far into the technical weeds on, tell us what those gas turbines, what purpose are they going to serve there at the site whenever it's finished?
Yeah, so it's power generation. It's just power generation. It's turbines much like you would see build a utility, you know, it's just that we're a private power grid, and but it's the same principle. It just creates electrons. For people that are not, you know, engineers like myself.
Yeah. And so also too, you know, what is happening with, you know, investors with Fermi right now? Can you kind of give us an overview there?
For sure. Well, you know, our investors are really pleased with what we're doing because we're being good stewards of the capital, and that's what they are concerned about. Is, you know, are we watching the dollars carefully, and making decisions like we made over the last 2 weeks just shows we are. We're gonna make sure that we're protecting that investment, and then that we're using it on things like the equipment that we brought into port last week in Houston, and that's what they want to see, is that we're spending it on the things that actually will create the power that helps solve America's energy crisis without burdening the taxpayers and the ratepayers with higher utility bills. So.
Absolutely. So one more thing here just before we wrap things up here real quick. So of course, like I said, the big thing we're waiting for right now is that TCQ clean air permit.
Yeah.
So let's say, should you get that, what is the next big step after that?
It'll be just to start ramping back up and going into the next phase, which will start vertical construction, and we'll end up with the equipment that we just saw come into port, headed this way.
Hope you're good and comfortable, because we're going to be back with more good news. All right, we still have a few more good stories for you lined up, ready to go.
The sound of working is music to Alice Taylor's ears.
Supposed to work. In order to get what you need, you have to work for it.
That is the philosophy Taylor lives by. She learned how to use her hands for work when she was a young girl. On this day, she is still using her hands, this time working for Dillard's. Aging Untold expert Amy O'Rourke says Taylor's life as a seamstress resonates with her.
One, I love the idea that someone at 85 is a seamstress. My mother was a seamstress. She didn't do it full time, but she was a seamstress, made all of our clothes. And so I kind of resonate with that story with her going back. And God bless all the people that get to benefit from her expertise.
Taylor does all the tailoring for Charlotte's 3 Dillards. She adjusts sleeves on shirts and jackets, hems pants, and works on gowns. That's her specialty. She works 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
I can just sit there and work as long as people leave me alone.
By the way, this is Taylor's second stint working full-time.
It gives me energy. I just feel like I'm supposed to work. It makes me feel better. Just because you're retired don't mean you have to go home and sit down. And I'm not the rocking chair kind of people.
O'Rourke says the benefits are not just about health, but building community.
So I'm one of those people that would like to think that she wanted to give back and wasn't ready to stop giving and had a sense of purpose.
It's okay to work. Age doesn't mean anything. You have to work.
Rennie eats her occasional Pop-Tart.
From bundled up raccoons and doe-eyed deer to the sharp-eyed hybrid wolves. This menagerie of animals make up the Wild Things Freedom Center.
There's no money in it, but it's fun, and I love the animals. Do you even taste it?
Jeanette Willette and her husband Dale run the wildlife rehab and sanctuary.
Animals are easier to like than people.
A passion that stemmed from Jeanette's childhood.
We are walking towards the wolves. I've had animals my whole life. I grew up in New Hampshire. I raised 2 white geese from hatchlings. Had horses, went horseback riding, had a goat. Everybody's favorite snack out here is peanuts.
The couple bought the property in 2017, dedicating 3 acres of land to feed, house, nurse, and nurture the animals back to health.
We have deer, donkey, horses, mini horses, a pony, pigs, goats, raccoons, fox, and every now and then we'll have otters. Otters are a blast to raise. We let them be as wild as they want.
But says her heart belongs to the raccoons.
Because they have personalities. You just can't beat their personalities. They're smart, they're conniving, they can work together in groups. You want to come in here and take a picture?
Jeanette gave us a tour of the farm.
This is Itty Bit.
Showing off her extended furry family.
I have no treats.
She knows every name, where they came from, and what makes them special.
Summer, the tricolor over there with the white on her, she was found walking on Front Street in Georgetown.
All right, what else? The couple also relies on their loyal volunteers.
Come here, Wilbur.
To help take care of the 130 animals that are on property.
Pigs love mud.
Which includes prepping meals and feeding them fresh fruits and veggies.
I want them to exist and not be killed. You know, and a lot of it's education. We educate the public on how to deal and coexist with wildlife. Because it's really easy once you know how to do it. But you'll hear the coyotes yips, and then you'll hear these guys howl.
Even giving us a tip about the clever coyotes, the one animal the wildlife rehab cannot accept.
When you feed cats off your porch at night, you're using the cats as bait to draw in the coyotes. They come in to eat the cats, plain and simple. He's mad at me.
For the Willettes, rescuing animals is not just work, it's a calling. And Jeanette says the real joy comes when you see them thriving.
Some of them come in, I'm thinking, I don't think it's gonna survive. But, you know, you give them fluids, antibiotic injections, and you keep them warm, and you keep your fingers crossed and check on them like every 2 hours. And then all of a sudden they perk up and they look at you, they start opening their eyes, start moving. It's awesome to see them recover.
She's a good girl.
Well, don't you just love positive stories? We'll be back the same time next week with another lineup of great stories for you. Between now and then, you can get good news at News Channel 10, newschannel10.com, and all your favorite streaming platforms. Until next week, I'm Doppler Dave.